This is so awesome. And it's going to be one of those days where the devil hates everything I do because he does not want me talking about this because I have technical issues. I get attacked. Yesterday, I had to call 911 in the Walmart parking lot because a crazy lunatic possessed woman, I'm convinced of it, was threatening my little 8-year-old son, followed us to our car, and tried to open the door. So stay vigilant because Satan's minions are out in full force. I mean, I've never seen this lady in my life. At first, I thought she was like had dementia maybe and she was lost. So I tried to help her and then it turned really ugly. So, yeah. And she was like making these demonic faces at my kid and said she hated him. So, anyway, that's not what this is about. I found something super, super cool in regards to something I had never heard about. This was back in 2016, and I'm just now hearing about this, but Joan of Arc's ring returns to France after an auction sale, and this was covered by the BBC. There's another article by SSPX, and they do a nice job of explaining the importance. The return of Saint Joan's relic means a lot for many in the invasion that France is facing today. Saint Joan of Arc had received from heaven the mission of driving the enemy out of France and bringing the Dauphin to Reims for his coronation. May the Pou de Fou, which is the foundation that now has it in France, by resurrecting this page of history through one of its shows, bring back hope and faith for the needed social kingship of Jesus Christ over France and all nations. And this is just goes right along with what I have been running my mouth about. We need to invoke her for the restoration of proper order. So anyway, a medieval ring said to have belonged to Saint Joan, the French heroine who fought the English during the 15th century, has returned to France after nearly 600 years in England. It was bought by the Pou de Fou Foundation, which runs a historical theme park in France, at auction in London for $425,000. They say Joan gave it to an English cardinal before she was burned at the stake. The Pou Foundation said the the ring's return to France was highly symbolic. And so this is the ring. It has some inscriptions of the names Jesus and Mary on it. But more importantly, okay, so the French heroine is thought to have handed the ring to England's Cardinal Henry Beaufort on the eve of her execution in 1431. It remained in England ever since, and there is thorough documentation to establish its provenance. On Friday, it was flown back to France. And so, this is the ring made in 1400. Devotional ring bears the inscription IHS in Mar for Jesus and Mary. It matches the description Joan gave at her trial of the ring given to her by her parents, and it is in its connection to Joan has been documented for more than a century. And so this ring was instrumental during her trial because they accused her of using it for witchcraft. So if you remember, that was one of the reasons she was burned at the stake, for being a witch. This ring was also she said it touched St. Catherine in one of the visions that she had or the apparitions of St. Catherine. She said this ring touched St. Catherine. And so maybe that's why they accused her of using it for witchcraft. But also, they could have had some power because there is a long history even in scripture of relics portraying the power of God. God uses some relics, some conductors, if you will, to give us power, to give us his power, his spirit, things like that. I mean, if you look at like the cloak of Elijah, it comes to mind immediately. That had special powers where he rolled it up and hit the water, and it was the water moved so he could cross. Look at Moses with the staff. So there's a long history in Catholicism and in Judaism of relics having power. So they accuse her of witchcraft because, as we know, in witchcraft, the witches and the warlocks also try to invoke demonic power, attach demonic power to certain items. So that's amazing. So it probably is a very powerful relic, but it's so significant that it's now returned to France in these times. Because as I keep saying, there is a need, there is a mission that St. Joan has for the restoration of proper authority in the church, in the world, in the home. on a government level, on a familial level, and on a church level. Everything's upside down and backwards right now. And so, of course, the liberals do not like this. So, check this out. The twisting tale of Joan of Arc's ring. A French nationalist thinks he has bought a heroic symbol home to France, but the facts are murky. So, of course, they're going to say it's fake because they're mad. And I can't even read the whole thing. But they basically said it's hateful from what I gathered from this, the twisting tale of French nationalists, and that's in The Economist. And so the description here said, politically too, the ring is providing a boost. Joan of Arc is particularly potent symbol for right-wing parties. And so there's this idea, because if you remember during the French Revolution, like even with the Battle of NDA, right, they wouldn't admit that those people were fighting for Catholicism. And so the right didn't like them, the Republicans didn't like them because they were trying to, fight for the monarchy or whatever. And then the leftists obviously didn't like them because of the whole religion thing or whatever. And so, yeah, they don't like Saint Joan. So that's why you see such a diabolical attack trying to twist her into this liberal feminist. That's why I get so angry. And I'm just looking at this. What is this? Weird image on Google. Like, things are getting so weird. I don't even know how that has anything to do with Father's Day. But I'm glad they're at least pointing out Father's Day on Google. Anyway, I don't know. Weird. Okay. Sorry, I got sidetracked. So, yes, we have this amazing story. And obviously, there's doubt about if it's authentic, and this is on Cath News. So who knows? But I think it's probably legit because just given what I know about our current situation, I would assume this is I wouldn't say a warning from heaven, but a sign from heaven that proper authority is going to be established again. And so by having a relic of the saint who was the kingmaker put back in its proper country, it's very symbolic. So anyway, I just wanted to cover that. I have a lot to bring my kid to swim lessons, so I'm jumping off here. God bless. Joan of Arc Media out.